This was an amazing year for intelligence sharing and intelligence communication in advance of the election. 2016 was really the first time that Americans realized that there's election meddling. There's always been election meddling. It's just that 2016 was the first time that it became mainstream media. And then in 2020, it became a topic again. But from 16 to 24, you really got to see the intelligence community, what we call the IC, create a strategy for how to collect and combat actively foreign meddling and foreign intervention.
Sorry, can you explain for people who may not understand? Do you mean that other countries might try to change the number of votes so that a particular person will win?
No. We're not talking about anything that has to do with the actual manipulation after the vote. It's all about the influence campaigns in the lead up to the vote.
Got it.
Yeah, that's when the meddling happens, so that people can send false information, misinformation, disinformation to sway that big chunk of middle voters. Because those middle voters might choose somebody based on a whim because they watched a movie or
they might not know if Puerto Rico is referred to as trash, and then they might say Puerto Rico's trash, let's vote for that guy.
Yeah, you have no idea so that's what the foreign governments are very good at, meddling with disinformation and misinformation. But the intelligence assessments were really, really clear and really consistent. Russia wanted a Trump victory. And empirically, or at least what's known in open source, it's because Trump has made it very clear he wants to end the war in Ukraine, he wants to call a ceasefire, and he wants to move on. That's exactly what Vladimir Putin wants too, because that's, in Putin's vernacular, that is a victory.
It's what the Ukrainians would want, except not by being handed over to the Russians, which is presumably what's going to happen.
I mean, it depends on, if you're talking about what the Ukrainian people want, I don't think the American population has a very clear idea what the Ukrainian people want. What Zelensky has made clear is he wants the full return of all original pre-Crimea invasion Ukraine returned to Ukraine. And that was the promise that he made. That definition of victory is a very difficult definition to achieve, which is why anything less than that is a Putin victory. So Putin and Russia wanted a Donald Trump presidency because of that primary issue. However, Iran, who is a close ally of Russia, did not want a Trump victory. They wanted a Harris victory because Iran is very, very familiar with how to skirt the sanctions and get around the diplomatic pressures and the economic sanctions when there's a Democratic president, because Democratic policy is usually open to more abuse than Republican policy. There's less saber rattling, there's less violence, there's less, intense military action. There's more soft power action. And Iran hates Donald Trump because Donald Trump was the commander-in-chief when IRGC General Soleimani was killed. So they very much wanted a Harris victory instead of a Trump victory.